received many gifts from the James family over the years, too many to count really. But I have to say, I think one of the best ones was Anne. So thank you for that. I don't know what I expected the mother of Art James to look like the first time I met her, but it wasn't Anne. I guess I expected someone kind of big and tough who wouldn't take a lot of crap. Instead, as you know, I met this short, sprite of a woman with bright, welcoming eyes and an infectious laugh, playful with a great sense of humor. Eventually, I came to understand that she was tough too and wouldn't take a lot of crap either. But I will never forget my surprise that first time I met her. When I think of Anne during the time that I knew her, I think of someone who was very present in the moment and full of light. I don't know if she was that way all of her life or not, but that's the way I experienced her. Maybe it was the result of having lived a rich, full life, of having that sense within yourself that I think she knew she had lived a rich, full life. Or maybe it was just Anne's way to bloom where you were planted, to take what life gives you and make it better in whatever way that you can. Anne was a remarkable person, the only child of Spencer and Ethel Hamilton. She was the valedictorian of her high school class, and a Phi Beta Kappa graduate of Wellesley College in 1942 with a degree in chemistry, of all things. I hate chemistry. I was shocked to hear that. Not that many women went to college back then. Certainly not study chemistry. And although she didn't pursue a career in chemistry, she was a leader and an avid reader all of her life. She was also a person who really loved life and enjoyed life. She was a very committed crossword puzzle fan, card player, and golf player as well. I understand she golfed in their retirement every day up into her 80s. And loved cards. How many decks of cards did you find?
24.
24 decks of cards were in her apartment when the family cleaned it out. And I keep running across these long-lived women with really sharp minds who do crossword puzzles every day. So I am reminded again, I really need to start doing crossword puzzles. It's pretty impressive. Anne met her husband, Arthur. Did she call him Arthur or Art? She called him Art as well. She met Art while working at a summer camp during college. She'd been working at summer camp for years, I understand. They were usually sort of fishing-oriented camps that catered to older staff and visitors. In this particular summer, her parents allowed her to work at another camp in Vermont that catered to younger people, perhaps for another kind of fishing, I don't know. Apparently so, because Anne had lots of love letters from various suitors from that time in her life. But the best ones, she said, were from Art, who eventually became her husband. He was a lieutenant in the U.S. Army Air Corps at the time, and his love letters must have been genuine because he traveled by bus from Miami, Florida for several days to be at her junior year prom at Wellesley. Pretty amazing. She, in turn, though, traveled all the way to San Antonio to visit him later, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and they were married the following April in 1942. He asked her to marry him that December, and they were married the following April. Thus began Anne's unofficial career, but her genuine calling as a mother and an Air Force wife. And for her, being an Air Force wife really was very much a vocation, a sense that she had of that. With Arthur and eventually their 3 sons, she lived in many different places on many different bases, from New Jersey. I couldn't keep track of all these, so I may not get them right, but from New Jersey to England and Massachusetts to Caswell, Texas, all over the place. She was a strict mother who made sure her boys did their chores and learned to take care of themselves. And when one of them complained about the way their shirts got ironed, I forget which son, that was Art. He complained about the way his shirts got ironed, so I think all 3 sons found themselves learning how to iron their own shirts. So he ran a tight household. Chemistry recipes became recipes for meals, and Anne got a big kick out of the fact that her lasagna recipe was used to serve President Truman on a trip to their base.
Oh, wow.
But her real gift, seems to me, was volunteerism and leadership. Everywhere Anne went, on every base, and all the way into retirement in Colorado Springs, even at Shandale, Anne took the lead in various forms of service and service organizations. Officer Wives Club, Red Cross Gray Ladies, the League of Women Voters, Sertoma Club, something called Kids in the Street in Colorado Springs, and much more. More often than not, she ended up as president or in some other leadership position. And while in Colorado, she went on TV at one point when she was president of the Women's League of Voters there to debate a staunch Republican legislator who was opposed to taxes in every form. Anne, a committed Democrat, although she registered Republican so she could vote in the primaries, believed taxation was just a form of working together for the common good, and I bet she kicked his butt. I don't know if there's still a tape of that, but I would love to see that. Anne was a person of strong beliefs and values, but she was also a very open and tolerant person and didn't impose her beliefs on others in ways that were, mean-spirited, like so often happens today when we disagree with one another. About the only thing of which she was intolerant was intolerance. Nancy and Beth both spoke about the ways she was supportive of them and reached toward them when they needed it and really commiserated with things that they were dealing with in their lives at the time and supported them on different journeys. And I think that's probably true of everybody in the family in different ways. And although she was taken by surprise when Bruce decided to convert to Orthodox Judaism, she eventually came around and even told him that if he was committed to this path, he should make sure to only date Orthodox girls. So that was good advice, don't you think? One of the first things Anne shared with me was her love for her church home in Colorado Springs and how proud she had been to join them in the gay pride parade that took place there each year. Just another example of her wide open spirit and embrace of people regardless of their background. Like I said, Anne was a remarkable person and full of light. It has been said that the glory of God is a human being who is fully alive. Anne showed us what it looks like to be fully alive. A lot of times when we think about service of others or the Christian ideal of the servant of all, we tend to come up with an image of someone who is quiet and humble and fades into the background in some way. But Anne shows us that this is not true. She was smart enough and gifted enough to do well at many different things in this world, but she embraced the life that she was given and used her gifts to help others and make the world a better place right where she was. And the vibrancy of that spirit was so clear in her. She embraced the life she was given and used her gifts to help others and make the world a better place on the path that she was on, beginning with her beloved family, her community, and her church. I think many of us tend to resist different aspects of our lives. Instead of diving in and fully living the moment, the day, the life we are given, Anne dove in. And as a result, she was full of light, full of God's glory come alive in her. All of us and all who knew her were blessed because of that light that shined in her. And we would all do well to follow her example, and to dive in to the lives we are given and make the world better wherever we need to be. So we give thanks for Anne, and I give thanks for Anne and for the privilege of knowing her.